Yo, Pete, what's good, bro? Yeah, I can only message from my phone sometimes. Well, I've been hiding nowhere, bro. I've been trying to get these commissions done, man. I I've been here running my mouth, but lately I've been trying to actually get some work, bro. So I got that one right there with the dude holding the baby. This right here. He got me doing both of these for him. Yo, yes sir. So, in here just trying to work on the background right now. So this take a shot with you. I don't know about that, bro. Too early in the morning. Come on, take a shot. I take a shot of coffee. I take a shot of coffee. But yeah, like I said, I'm fucking around with the all the leaves and foliage and the trees and shit in the background. I'm, hopefully I can start working on the like these railings, the little banisters on the bridge they're walking on. Hopefully I can get to that today. And if I can start working on that, I'll be comfortable. But yo, the end of the year, trying to I gotta burn up all my vacation time before the new year. So I'm gonna have like damn near a whole week off coming up soon. So during that time period, I'm definitely hit the studio hard. I'm gonna do a lot of streaming too. So I'll try to share like the last parts of these paintings, like the last detail layers on these Jones. Yo, Blunt, how weird is this? Seeing yourself on the screen, watching it on your screen. Hubbly bubbly. That motherfucker. It's a screen on the screen on the screen. These niggas here tripping. I'll be damned. Oh boy, it's been a minute. I never break character. Oh man. Yo, that's a funny ass fucking movie, but the goddamn the fuck's been up though. And I haven't been streaming in a while. Um, I'm trying to think of some new shit. Really, ain't a lot of new shit going on. A directory traversal attack. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, I did ask. But yeah, ain't a whole lot of new shit, man. Same old shit. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to make some art. I did come up with a new concept today. Well, not today, but yesterday I was thinking about okay, like what's my next thing? Like what's my next concept for a series of paintings? And there's this old motherfucking white dude who used to travel around the Middle East, and he did like these dope ass paintings of these Moors, and I guarantee you, like if I show you this one painting, you probably already seen this, Joan. Oh, well, that's not the real popular one. Where is this? I'm gonna try to find this real popular painting real quick and see if y'all ever seen this. So this painting right here. Oh, you ever seen this painting? It's been floating around the internet. A lot of people make memes out of it. But I want to do something very, very similar to this. Um, Kind of like, but, um, so I was looking up like photos and stuff. But what I want to do is show how, I want to show how the Moors taught the motherfucking Europeans and shit. Look how dope this painting is, man. So I was just trying to so I was just trying to come up with like some different kind of composites or like get some ideas of like clothing and architecture. But I think I want to do some shit like that and just show like the regalness of just show how regal the Black Moors of Spain were and how much knowledge and information they put out to the rest of the fucking to the world, yo. And so my first idea was really a little bit bigger than that, and I still might. I don't know. It's it's hard for me to even explain this shit. I want to show how black people had knowledge first, and how black people did help teach other cultures and other races. Um, and so like I really was gonna go like some way far out shit that it's kind of like kind of like the Anunnaki, but not really, but really, but not really. And so in my mind, I had envisioned like this tall ass black being, like y'all remember the movie 300 and the big tall motherfucker they had to fight in that shit is Xerxes. You remember how big they made that motherfucker look? Like he was like 12 or 15 feet tall or some shit. Like I want to have like a figure like that, like this really tall, big human, but like this real black person, this real black man. And then like right around him is a group of like normal sized humans, and he's teaching these motherfuckers something. My first thought was like math or um, maybe language, because you would have to be able to communicate first before you can teach any other concepts. So maybe like I don't know. And then I thought like that concept may be too big, and so then I just kind of like started to narrow it down to like just black people in general, and like how the Moors did really like they ruled over Spain for fucking hundreds of years, like 700, 800 years. So whatever it is, like that's gonna be like my next thing is like how black people help teach the world. So we'll see if we go with the more like extreme black giant gods, delivering information to these humans, or will it be like more just like a more typical human story? But I really want to do like not some sci-fi shit, but like just the theories, like the ancient civilization theories. Like I'm so big on that shit. You guys know I love those fucking just those conversations about what was before, you know. So I want to do something like that that kind of you know visualizes these theories of there was a very advanced ancient culture that knew shit that we don't know, and somehow that some of that information got passed along and we forgot most of it, but we kept some of it. And who were those individuals who had that last little bit of knowledge to help the human race kickstart our civilizations? And so were that was that like some giant black Anunnaki beings from Atlantis or some shit? I mean, who the fuck knows? But I want to try to do something like that, and I feel like the visuals are like so out there that I probably couldn't like just photograph this shit and use like um photo references that I can get myself. So that's why I'm trying to make composites. And so this series may not be like I don't know as realistic as some of the work that I normally do because I may have to do all of this like strictly from my imagination and just come up with images from my mind or like use different composites of images and alter them enough so that I can use it as a reference, but it won't be like something that you can just go somewhere and be like, oh, that's where that was photographed at. Like even the composites I did earlier, that like the one of them is already two different pictures in one, and it looks the best in black and white. I was trying to do a color fix to get the color right. The Samaria. See, so this is two different photos. So I'm oh damn. I'm trying to see like if I can find some decent composites and kind of blend them together. But yeah, that's like I just photoshopped those two pictures together. And I was trying to get this one to look right, but I can't. But then like I said, I'll just have to like edit it and like do what I need to do on the canvas to make it look like it's one photo. But if I can find like the right images of people and different places and kind of like build this story, and it may take like a couple of pieces too. Like I'm not sure how many paintings I would have to do to feel like I was able to tell the story correctly. But that's something else we can think about. All right, so back to the painting, and this is why I haven't been streaming as much, because I really have been trying to hit these canvases hard, and I know like the actual painting part is it gets a little boring sometimes. Not gonna lie. Good stuff, bro. Yeah, I'm trying. Like I want my next idea to be something cool. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, I want it to be like something that I'm interested in too. You know, and that's one of my favorite things to talk about is religion. You know, ancient civilizations. You know, why are there pyramids all over the world? Who were these people? How did they do that? Where did they get that knowledge from? You know, was Atlantis a real place? I can because these are fun things to think about and hypothesize over, and a lot of people do, you know, spend thousands and thousands of dollars in research funds to study shit like this. And so I think that if I can find the right visuals to kind of help show people some of these theories and some of these ideas um, in a cool way. I think that might be a little cool set of paintings, you know, and to have like I can already see like for real, like ooh, ooh. Okay, so what if I can tell the story like this? So you have like the first canvas, and it's hmm. On the first canvas, you can have like a scene where it's these very elegant and decadent um, black people just having this normal interaction, but like you know, dressed in those really gorgeous, you know, like Middle Eastern garbs, and then like in the next scene, you can have like whatever catastrophe or cataclysm that happened, whether it was like something that they inflicted on themselves through war and technology, or if it was something that was natural, uh, like some comets or meteors or something like that. And then so you can show their culture and how they lived. And then the next scene, you can show the destruction and the fall of their civilization. So those are two canvases. That's already two paints. The third one, you can have like one of these, like one or two of um, these ancient beings from this highly advanced civilization. You can have them talking to like normal humans, and this is when you could see the size comparison, because in the first image everyone would be the same size and you wouldn't notice anything like peculiar or odd. But then in the third image, when these same people are talking to are in the presence of normal humans, they're much taller, and you can recognize them because they can have like the same type of clothing and garments on, and the humans can be dressed a little more like meek and modest, and you can see the size difference there. And then in the last scene, because these would be tall black people teaching like normal black humans, and then from the last scene you can have these black humans like going out and like teaching other, you know, trying to civilize other cultures. Damn, that's a whole story. think that could be a whole series. Damn. 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 Yeah, I don't know why Yeezy would even fuck with that bitch yo, like that and get her pregnant, like marry the bitch and everything. They whole family set up like that though. And me personally, I think all his shoes are ugly. Like the clothes are whack. I don't know. Like his music is hot, but like, Damn.
And he's still critiquing it. You with the white girl? As if she's like the last living white girl on the planet. I love it. A detrimental decision. That nigga was off on his detriment. And look. I get to deal with Buddy. Let me take care of my moderating services. I forgot my duties and shit. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead while we talking about the girls. We're gonna play hide and seek with our girls' account. And boom, they gone.
Piggy, what's up, yo?
We not looking for the Kim Kardashians. Thank you though. And then I'm expecting them to show up on here. Surely at some time they're looking like, oh shit, how did Blunt Mover do that? Oh, that's right. Let me go hit up his channel. Yeah, come on down. Farrah, I'll leave that one to you. I wouldn't be a good host or guest if I didn't provide the right vibes. So being as we normally have music, apply some beats, and we good. And away we go.
Yes, sir. I know I got a weird ass angle right now, but I'm gonna move this canvas in a second.
Really? Prince is one of 5 lyricists I've met and doing live stream that I respect their bars. I respect his bars. Like, nah, this isn't really rhyme and music, but you sets the mood, ambiance. That's
Nah, bro. When you was playing your other Joan, your old music, swear to God, yo, I had a 2 hour ride all the way to Philly. And listen to this man bump his shit the whole time, yo. But yo, your shit's hot, son. I swear, like all these years, bro, I didn't know you really was in the studio recording, like making hot ass music like that, bro. That shit was dope as fuck. I swear, bro.
Thank you, man. I said that I said that earlier tonight to somebody. I said these niggas didn't even know that I could rhyme like I do. They just learned it because they've been spending too much time hating on your boy. Yeah, and I appreciate that, man. Dead ass. Man said he took a 2 hour ride and I had my music playing the whole way. Like my music, me on the mic. So, and ass type shit. Yeah, I remember that day. That was just earlier in the week. I was locked in on my ramen shit. Somebody asked me, I think it was J1 or somebody. If you got music that you did, yeah, hold up. Yeah, I got a good 16 tracks to play at least.
Mm-hmm. Facts, yo. All that shit was hot too, man. Like the hooks, the beats, motherfuckers had a little some sangy R&B hooks, yo. I like that shit, yo.
pictures, and I'm like, damn, it's done. The sun keep adding more detail, hours on end. That's true artistry. Yeah, again, another person I never had involved in it. I never had no problem. Remind me, which one? When we had a problem? About Nova what? Now, respect only gets more respect. True respect, from both parties. That's when you're only gonna build a stronger bond of respect.
Facts.
The minute somebody interjects disrespect, then things get different.
Things get different fast too.
Not yet. Let me check and see if it's in the forecast. It's 16 degrees right
16 degrees. God damn. Hold on. Let me check my weather. That's what you said. He said 16 degrees. Nah, you got me beat. Yeah, yeah, 29.
And if anybody deserved to be sponsored, promoted, or supported, be this brother, man. 29. 29. An extra 13 degrees Cool. Awesome.
Motherfuckers can't handle that graveyard shift shit, man.
Speculation about when his contract is up. That's in another 3, 4 years. Okay, okay, okay. There's some time on that. Yeah. And I assume with your approach, the intellect approach that you put to shit, Travis, they came and got you too. You had way too much information for the audience, and that's not what they were looking for. And I'm over here trying to unify and empower things, and that's not what they were looking for. So you might have somehow pissed off two of that troll or that person that I pissed off, a new asshole intellectually. I gave them the tall glass to shut the fuck up, so they made it their life mission to fuck with our channels. I'll go for that.
Facts, bro.
Motherfuckers tell me I only get 2 views, but when I cut the damn live off, should be saying 40 something, 70 something, 100 something.
You already know they fucked the algorithm up on this, man.
The numbers don't. Like right now, this shit's been solid 5 for the last easy 50 minutes.
And bro, like
Still only 2 people text up.
when I first started watching your stream, man, you had like 130 people, 140 people in your shit, yo, all at the same time, like. And now, like you say, that's why. I mean, I still love to stream, and I'll continue to stream. But I already know, like they absolutely fuck with something where people don't get our notifications or whatever. Our shit don't pop up like it used to.
Yes, sir. I'm in full agreement. I have done my studies. I've seen it. With friends, yo, I'm on. Damn, I didn't know you was on. You know, I was on. You sub to the channel? Yeah, hold on. Let me unsub and resub. Okay. The following day. Damn, you didn't get the notification? Nah. Okay, well, you know, I can't reach out to 1,287 people. Hey, I'm on. I just got to do this the old poor man way. And then, you know, I wasn't for a schedule.
They call that shit shadow banning or something like that.
Having problems at 4 o'clock every day. I'll be on, so you know, check in on that time. Nah, my shit too sporadic. I'll be on when I'll be on. At the time that the weirdos weren't on their job and the notifications went out, damn, people be in it. Oh shit, damn, where y'all all came from? My notifications must have went out, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we made the shadow ban list long time ago. Long time ago. I know that. And I started to treat it like a little YouTube prison. No problem. Guaranteed. With 1,287 subs, well, somebody's getting a notification, and the chance will be that if they see me on and they're sub to me, they're gonna come in and talk. And that's what the fuck we do. I'm not worried about building subs or views, and no. I'm still here for the original thrill of it all. Have a little social lounge, chop it up with people. We good. Head ease. They are methodically holding us back. What they scared of? It's the sabotage. That's all it is. Beastie Boys.
Hey man, once you start using your pronouns, and then they'll put you back in the top of the algorithm, man. You just all you gotta do is use your pronouns.
Platforms they put us on.
Him, he, they.
Daily Motion and now YouTube. went through years of name calling. So Joey, listen here.
Hey, bro. We're not politically correct enough, man.
Did something, so therefore, I'm picking on people. I know there's a major difference between attempting to cyberbully anyone versus defending yourself. Right. Yeah, I went rebel renegade. Forget politics. I threw that out the window. Wow. But I think I still kept it very cordial. Just brutal and abrasive. Since people want to go against the grain, cool, let's do it. All right. Oh, you don't like the ride no more.
Mm-mm.
All right. Cool. Take this tall glass and shut the fuck up. Keep it moving. Goodbye. I don't pull up to other people's lives and start problems, so I don't want it. I don't expect it. And they gave me the tools to defend it for, so I'm gonna promote that to other streamers interested in wanting to stream. Look here, that's what you gotta do. Ain't like that. And all the motherfuckers that do the dumb shit, oh, they are fully approved. They the ones out here talking about they getting the views. And thank you for the mention. Right. 130, 140, 200 and something. My best stream ever was 1,487 people, no trolling. The chat line was on the move. And me and wifey was reading it, and it was all good. That's when this shit first started. When they first gave us this shit. I can go from 1,400 to 2. Still numbers. See, I never got caught by the whole glimmy glamour of it. Oh, I'm gonna get the YouTube award. At that time, 2013, they weren't even giving out awards.
Nope.
Or none of that, and we wasn't even on YouTube. And I still do it for the same reason I started it. Because I feel like it. Because I can. Because I enjoy it. I'm just mad at the overall community, honestly. Because, motherfuckers should have been somewhere better than where we at today. As an overall group, community. I'm gonna put it all on my motherfucking shoulders. I ain't interested in carrying the weight. Yeah, yeah. Like the feature I've been talking about for the last 3 years. Yeah, when they gonna hit us with the update that shows who these lurkers are?
Mm.
I just want to know, and the need to know who's in the lounge, who's in the room. Oh, who do I see in the magic mirror? Oh, look at someone. And so, okay, welcome. So cowardly and timid. I don't want to say nothing, but if the program itself was programmed to tell your punk ass, we'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody walking into anybody's in any fashion, in any form, unannounced, is a damn thief. What you looking to steal? You got your notepads out, writing down tactics and how to and the good parts thereof. Put a flashlight on them boys. Quit scurrying around in the dark. Come on out before I shoot you. I like that line from Django. suspect who it might be. Who is it now? Who could it be now? No. Y'all just told me so. Cool. You're working with, and I'm working with. We're working together. We can get things done. Wow. I want to do that because I think they got some of their own team players out this bit holding us back. Tell nobody. Allegedly. I think there's a crew within all the platforms that are destined to focus on who they gonna allow to rest, and who they gonna put on pause, who they gonna keep in the dark.
I definitely agree with that shit, bro.
And 6 degrees of separation. Everybody knows somebody somehow, somewhere. So,
Mm-hmm.
might just be one of the boys within our own community. Yeah, man. See that dude right there? Yeah. The one always smoking the weed. Yeah. Keep him out of here. I don't like him. Give him a tall glass of shut the fuck up, would you, please?
Yeah, that's the new trend though too. Is fucking deplatforming people, silencing motherfuckers.
Call of action.
Like you say, some people get their whole shit taken away and all their accounts banned, but like for motherfuckers like us, all they gotta do is goddamn shadow ban us, turn our notifications off. Cause like you said, they listen to every fucking thing. As soon as you hear them keywords, you start talking about, you say some shit like pro-black or black empowerment, or you fucking listen to the wrong YouTube streamer. Just like, once again, just like me listening to your shit, they gonna be like, oh, he listened to this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And they got enough money to have motherfuckers sit around, like you say, monitor motherfucking channels all day, all night, just to see who like they would feel is like any kind of threat. Cause I might spark just the idea in the wrong person and create a whole Malcolm X out this bitch or some shit.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in no trouble. Man, you're more forward than me.
No, they'll say the same thing about you, and then you listening to my stream, and they like, oh, he listening to this motherfucker, and this dude always talking about Dr. Amos Wilson and black indigenous people, and then that shit fuck your stream up.
And my boy, shout out to my brother from another mother, truly, HM Taran, in production with the truth of the algorithm pushes what makes it money. It's alright, it's been fucked up. I'm good with the fuck ups. It's been fucked up. It's all fucked up. Football. It's the football station. But it's just, the algorithm pushes what makes it money, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
looking to necessarily help them make any money, I guess. If you ain't on the agenda that is being pushed, you get lost in the shuffle. I'm definitely lost in the shuffle because I'm not on the agenda that's being pushed. That's a fact, I can admit. So, it might be self-induced. That's why that feature of telling us who's here would help out. Then, me and the algorithm can be friends. And yeah, us listening to each other, I'm fine with it. I don't care, man. I met you back in 2013. I'll be damned if I'm going to separate the connection due to clout or compliance with YouTube. Or we can't be friends because of what you know and what you talk about? Damn, that sounds like the parole officer telling me I can't mess with dudes in the community because they're fellow felons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, he's off the control. I don't like it. Yeah, nah, we good, and we'll always be. Again, I'm not with them for the money. circle. They can't stop that. I ain't looking to obtain 100,000 people that I don't even know, and it might be good, but I'm good for now. I'm good. I got my crew. We make it through.
Facts.
And that's guaranteed, sir. That is guaranteed. Yeah, you talking about Dr. Sebi or any likes and all that, and where the original man came from, and who are the original Jews and what have you. Oh no. Oh hell yeah, I love that shit. But for them, now they don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't hear that. I wonder how the people that do have certain channels like that keep it going. Most are under the impression that social media platforms are free speech, right? It's free until you contradict the message they push. Then they push you to the shadow realm. Makes perfect sense. Now, see, here's the problem, right? The problem is, oh wait, hold up. What did I say? Where did I go wrong? Like, is that so? I don't know. I didn't get nothing from them. Hey, in your 339th live at 2:49, you said, and we quote, I ain't with this shit. Fuck you too. Yeah, that's against our guidelines. So, we're going to give you a strike. Don't do that again. No, there was none of that. There's no explanation for anything. So, yes, figured free speech. I was one of those, definitely. I just figured as long as things were cordial and I wasn't promoting hate speech or looking to incite any type of riots, become the next Malcolm X, overthrow the government, be a threat to the country, we should be good for conversation. That's what I thought. I thought maybe it was all because I was playing music, and all I'm doing is responding to people talking to me more than half the time. I'll sit here quiet. I'm not gonna be talking to himself. No, the hell I don't. I'll wait for one of y'all to say something. Oh, what's going on? Okay, yeah. So, and then we build from there. I keep it cordial in all caps. And if you ain't cordial with it, I get you up out of here with the features that they gave me. The F is a problem. These are private companies for profit. That's the problem. You gotta go digging for that kind of shit. Those three-letter agencies are super good at killing off powerful movements. Anything that has a potential to empower and uplift are always in the scope for targeting.
More facts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tehran. Thank you for doing their job. I was doing too much uplifting? Because that's what I can attune to. What was it again? Anything that has the potential to empower. Oh, yeah. I be giving off them empowering vibes, too. Damn, I'm in the wrong. Because I wasn't pushing their motive. I don't even know what their motive is. And I'm believing free speech, and I just want to come out and help my fellow man and woman, my fellow countrymen, my brethren and them, my people, the people, we the people. Yeah, I think I let the free speech thing go to my mind. I really did. I just knew, no hate. Don't be doing the death threats. You tell me you're going to do this and that. Yeah, all right, cool. Well, here's where you need to do all this and that. Ain't nobody pulled up for any type of problems. Since I did it in 2015, the only people that pulled up was for some good smoke and good times. Here's one of them here, explaining why I'm in violation with the overall program. I had to get one of my friends out of my support group to break it down to me because YouTube team didn't tell me nothing. There ain't no tutorials I need to watch that they hear so you can understand. No, in the studio telling me that I'm old. They give me things like over promoting, all sorts of weird shit. But hey, as for horses, you feed them that shit, they get thorough and run across the fields. My bad, I'm too uplifting and too empowering. Right, that's what I've been promoting from door. And if you ain't with it, here's a tall glass to shut the fuck up, and we hope not to see you anytime soon. Goodbye, and have a good day. Is that too abrasive? It's not politically correct enough? When they ran into the buildings on January 6th, they seem to get all those people. When anybody goes into a place of business and disrupts it, they call security, the police. They get them up out of there. What's any different? How's it any different? This is my vibe, my life. It's a fucking music class. Me, 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 me. You have the right to make a vibe and a live too. We all do. I thought that was part of the freedom. I never looked at it that way, Tom. You know, working for a corporation and then I'm going against their message and all that. I've never stepped back and seen it in that scope. Ever. So you just wrote it. I've been in the shadow realm wondering why things are dark. No explanation. Just cut off the lights. And I'm good in the dark. You think darkness is your ally? I was molded from it. And they just got, man, I gotta be in the top 100 of people that they watch and keep an eye on. He told us he doesn't care that he's in the shadow realm. He's making the best of it. Fuck you, man. So, in retrospect, this new information, so it would be better if I came out and disempowered people, tore them down. Uh, so what's the charges I'm guilty of again? Empowering and uplifting. Right. So if I was out here knocking people down and making them feel less than, that's good? Is that a positive? Is that what we're aiming for? Just let me know what the narrative is. You know, what's the objective? I want to get the mission done. Take my accolades and trophies. Is there a forum of sorts that says this is what you should do, this is what you need to promote? Is there a list? A starter kit of some sort, you know, getting out of the shadow realm? Can we shine the light on that?
Roadmaps and how to's. Have you been banned to the Shadow Realm? Do you need guidance? Buy my new self help book.
Yeah, I should adjust it to the darkness. Boy, I'm walking around this bitch like Vin Diesel in Pitch Black.
Damn. Have you been banned?
Right. Exactly. Look, they can get the chick with the voiceover and all that. Man, that'll work. Making your way up Shadow Realm. Like I'm in detention forever. Nigga, the teacher in this bitch tired of me. I'm tired of the teacher, nigga.
Damn.
Can I get back to class at some point? We just gonna keep me in detention for the whole school year. unsubscribe. They may be waiting for that glorious day for them to get the notification. But there's a team of motherfuckers to make sure that armed with bots and programs and all sorts of hatred. Keep your ass in the shadow realm, nigga. You don't make it through to the next dimension.
You know. Another thing about our streams too is like our streams be fucking hours long. So even if like people don't get notifications, it's harder for us to even pick up new viewers because people their fucking attention span is short as fuck. So they'll rather click on the video that says 5 minutes or 7 minutes before they click on the video that says like 2 hours or 3.5 hours, and they don't even give us a fucking chance. And then like replaying our videos, it is kind of different. Like we do shit where like you just have to be there live most of the time to get the full effect of that shit.
Yeah, I was never methodic about. I was never scheduled or planned on anything as far as time wise. And when I was, it was like, well, I got time for it, so cool. That's the truth. Yeah, I was talking about that with somebody yesterday. Yeah, the attention span of the viewers and all that. But again, I'm not looking to appease to all that. So I guess I'm kind of rebel on that. I'm not that methodic. Only putting up, editing my video, taking out. Here I am.
Facts. Yeah. I don't ever feel like taking time to do that shit either.
But 2023, I will attempt to get out of the shadow realm. The agenda is hyper focused on sexual orientations and identity politics.
I told you, man, you got to use your pronouns, bro.
The machine wants one to draw a hard line in the sand on topics that hold intricacies too complex for 140 characters. It takes open and honest dialogue to reach commonality on those topics. It's not conducive to the platform. I thought I was using my pronouns. Adjectives, verbs, nouns.
I already been doing that shit, man. I've been using my pronouns. Nigga. I speak. But like my man just said, yo, it's fucking focused on sexuality and gender, and if you're not having conversations about shit like that, man, look.
No different than the artist, the superstar, the celebrity who has the only right to say certain things. They're under certain contract. It's in stipulations of their contract. Yeah, we're not. I stay away from that. In fact, I don't like to offend anyone. So to each their own. But yeah, I'm not gonna have. I'm not gonna host a forum, open conversation, a space where that's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I'm the host. No. Who you decide to be with, who you feel like you are sexually, that's all of you. And the less you would share about it, I'm cool with it even equally. That way, they never gotta talk sex with. So therefore, we gonna have some of them conversations, and in it, I might be calling people out of their name to the point that it goes against the people that are being promoted. My bad. I'm from the old school. So again, it's I feel a violation of freedom of speech and being like that's some civil rights issues. People have the right to feel the way they feel, and if you can't agree to disagree or whatever, it is the internet. They can move on. We can move on. I can move on. I don't have to sit and listen to what I don't want to hear every day. The internet's the new TV, right? It's the new cable and shit. All sorts of programs on it. Oh, all right. That's how I perceive it. That's how I see it. Interpret this. But I guess that doesn't comply with how they interpret things. Yeah, I'm not finna be a billboard for whatever it is they're promoting. Extra, extra, read all about it. Gain this is in. No, no, respectful. Hee hee ha ha. Humor. I can't help people profess in something I'm not versed in, to which is additionally I'm against. So I guess off into the shadow realm we go. Right this way, sir. Because I can see that. I see that clearly, right? If you go off the rails with me, I'm going to do eggs or this and that and the third. And I'm making sense of it on my move on to with them. Like, hold on, whoa, 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 whoa. So you're bothered by who I sleep with. Okay. So like, that's sexual. Now it gets weird. Now I think you're gay. The gay community may feel the way. I'm sorry. I wasn't saying, y'all. I wasn't even talking to y'all. I actually have a few gay friends. Versions when I find out that the dialogue and whatever it was dies off. I swear to God. Seen it happen a few times. Oh shit, I didn't know you was like that. I was never talking to you. But if you feel away when you come in my live and somebody sexual preferences.
Mm-hmm.
Interracial related dating. Do you do that? Are you against it? No. No. I don't care. I ain't got no point to prove what you want now. Did you make me breakfast this morning? No. Dinner last night? Mm-mm. You left something in the fridge for lunch? Fuck no. I'm highly unconcerned. Interesting. Now, if you hit the sideline with this, narrative about your sexual interests and what have you, well, then as the host, I'm gonna tell you keep that to yourself. Hey, go. And let's use this platform to converse different walks of life, gather understanding for a better tomorrow. What the fuck's the problem? I'm about coexistence. I'm not about segregation and separation. Nah, I'm pretty sure this country has tried that. Yeah, I wasn't around for the black only, white only epidemic and thing. I'm here in the aftermath. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't work out, now did it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. The brothers gonna work it out. Yeah, I got some brothers, we can work this out. But apparently I'm voicing my opinion on the wrong platform. I guess that's the stipulation. That's right. Without too much haha. It's crazy. They originally called the internet the information superhighway. Cool. Why is it mandated that my Lamborghini has to be in the slow lane? Using the wrong power source. Nah, man. It's controlling people's right to opinion and freedoms. And those that are not controversial, like rebel at all, if you will, and actually are a part of what they're promoting, as Teron said, they good. I ain't mad at them. But that don't mean I gotta conform to what? I'm about peace. tell me how my peace go. I pieced it together. Let me tell you about the masterpiece and my pursuit of happiness and what it means. I'm feeling too much control going on. Abide by the common rules. We have to be self-respecting and respecting of others. I get that. Got it. Noted. But don't forget, he or she who cast the first stone be without sin. So if it's shown, all this is recorded. If it's shown, we sitting here talking about the intricate understandings of life and the meaning, and then somebody comes along and they bringing negativity and doing all sorts of extra to try to distract us and disrupt. And we deal with them how we see fit. We meet them with their energy. No. Don't start none, won't be none. I like that law. Always have. Well, we started something positive, and negativity comes along and it's shown, but yet and still, that's not put into. Uh, that's not put under a microscope. The title never read. Text up so I can disrespect you. I'm having a bad day. Text up. I want to talk wild to you. I don't care who you are. Let's do it. I ain't never put nothing up like that. When I asked for no problems, they gave us the tools to take care of problems. I'm out here using the tools and get in trouble for using the tools. Check out Rumble. It's the YouTube before the gazillions of ad dollars started rolling in. Not as regulated in the name agendas. Yeah, I've heard about that. People, I caught the buzz of that over the last few months.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the new.
I listen to a lot of Steven Crowder and Russell Brand, and both of them always talk about go to their Rumble channel.
Well, damn. They need to make changes for the people that have stuck it out with them. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, be more intuitive and interactive with the hosts. You can get 6 trolls to get together from different parts of the country to report, and the algorithm is gonna pick that up, and then there's slam the host. So there's no defense for us. It's more violation. You get millions of the I am the type of person to trip someone and dump a beer on them, and you would like me in real life. And that was the greatest. Just on the internet, I'm a complete jackass. In real life, I actually do volunteer work in the neighborhood. I actually run a youth center for Bible study 7 days a week. Uh, I'm a caretaker at the nursery. It's just that when I'm on the internet, I like to blow off some steam. It's all for jokes. If you met me in real life, it would be something like that at the meeting of one of the popes down at the Vatican. Okay, so Rumble is getting traction. Like motherfuckers that can't interact honestly with themselves. How could they be real with a stranger? And who can't interact well with others? That's the problem. to it. If they were to, add that feature to show you who was in your lives. The same way you get the YouTube analytics. They tell you everything down to the demographic of whether, what age they're in, the sex and everything, but you can't announce them when they come in? Oh, come on. I mean, even while I'm in the shadow realm, or if I wasn't, I'd like to know who's here to visit. Yeah, it'd be nice to know. So, oh, so and so's in. Oh, okay. Hey, man, what's up? You just checking in? You here for a little stop in real quick? The instant they do that, it'll be so revealing. Because so many trolls won't recognize it at first. Like, oh, shit, oh, how does he know? It's me. Yeah. Keep a little list up on the top right hand side of the people within your live. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to scroll the whole chat list to see who texted up. Nah, just, the little option to show more, if you've got more than 50 people or whatever. Things would be a little more cordial. Because now, no more hiding. No more hiding. So, you want to watch? You want to interact? Cool. Oh, that's you? What's up? The move on their end would be whether to be courageous enough to sit there and stay. And then, show when people leave and enter. I've seen plenty of platforms do it. Know how fun it would be here. Yeah, that's us. Always looking for a better way. time that you see me saying hi, you should like type out right there, quick, because she'll be gone by the time the comment hits. Respectfully, she don't like him. She probably, I mean, if I really picked her brain about it, she probably, nah. She want me to be successful with the thing, you know. She told me something before. You should be a vlogger. And that goes to what he was saying, you know, putting up just timed stuff instead of these long cool outs and whatnot. Just, okay, so my opinion for the day, and upload that and do that. I've never done it. I only have one video like that at one point when we were gonna move, and I was like, "Yo, peace, stay safe, stay smart, stay up. I'll see y'all soon. You know, we moving. You know, for those that care." And that was it. That video is still there. That's the one video I ever uploaded. You know what I mean? Pre-recording, then okay, here. Vlogging, yeah. She wanted me to be a vlogger. So that would be even less involvement than what I have now, which is cool, no problem. But yeah, that's what she wanted. She cool with, cause that's what I want to do. But if I told her, Mom, you know what, 2023, I'm not going live in any fashion anymore. She'd probably be happy, like, I think. But she let me do my thing. She knows, up in these mountains, I'm from New York City. I'm used to activity and talking and all that. And this is my fix. I've explained to her like I have to y'all my narrative as for going live. You know what I'm saying? I like giving out the advice. I like inspiring, empowering people. I really do. It's cool. I did all the other shit that they actually want me to be a part of. I did that before. I did it in my teens. It was just a phase. Yeah, my knees were crooked. It's time. I'm out there. 30-day shoot. Get timeless content for the whole year. They mad. Right. Ain't that enough? I could understand if I was one of the people that went live, like some of the people I look at their accounts when they be coming in here with their troll effort, and they got videos from 6 years ago that have only obtained 13 views. I could understand if I was one of them. Right. The math would add up as to why only 2 people was in the live. I get it, because ain't nobody fucking with me, right? Yeah. No, that's the falsified belief. Plenty of people fucking with me. What do you mean? You think I pissed off 1,276 people? 2 people that remain there. Old Yeller and Tehran. Shaman and Tehran and yourself, Farrell, y'all last of Mohegans. Bullshit. There be somebody new every time I come to their own. Whether it's repetitive or not, it be somebody different. Oh shit, damn, I ain't seen you in a while. Where you been? Oh man, dealing with these notification issues. But how you been? How's the family? You know? How's the missus? Yeah, oh, the little one must be big now. Okay, yeah, power. Can't do that. That's common interest with people that I've grown with over this platform that I've been able to use. I've been looking for a month-to-month commercial space. As soon as I lock it down, I'll be out. I just need to set up on 2 cameras, lighting, sound. Okay, right. Cool. We piecing together our own stuff. Yeah, it was crazy. When I started doing the little shorts and all that on IG, somebody texted up on one of my posts. It was like, "Yo, this dude deserves his accolades and respect." I remember him from being on PlayStation, and it was one of my shorts that went viral. I got like 200,000 views behind it, hits on it, whatever. And but amidst that, amongst someone coming, hey, I remember this guy from Playroom back in 2016. He deserves it. Much respect to you, brother. I was like, oh shit, yeah. You know what I mean? We just gotta finish out the year strong. And I'm on the right, I know, I feel it. I'm on the right page. And it's all taking some time to put together, but we can get about the shadow realm. And I appreciate fully y'all keeping it authentic, real, realizing, you know what I'm saying, situation, bringing forth information and involvement. Y'all could have been on some clout chasing shit, man. That nigga is he in the shadow realm, man. I ain't going down there. I'm going where's popping. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here. No, 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 no. And I've seen plenty of people do that. You know, flip floppers. You know, because the channel got jammed. Now you don't see them. I don't know if that falls into the fact that they not getting the notification or not. And I don't go around telling people, oh, yo, well, I'm gonna be live at 12 o'clock, man. Come see me. See me when you see me. Remember when I met you, Farrell? Nah, yeah, what would you do? Where you from? Oh, you what? Well, listen, man, they got a case on me or something, man. Ask one of the higher ups, you know what I mean, to release the valves or something. Can I get a little free time? I ain't do nothing. I don't know where no body's at. None of that. I couldn't connect you to the plug or nothing. I've been watching. I've been right here in the legalization of things. No, I ain't doing no underhand business. Ain't any person out here ever got no weight from me. Not made up. All I did was help my brethren and them out with the discounted price because they came from out of state. I'm here.
Roll it down now.
Yep, save you some bread. I don't want to be the next Malcolm X. Ain't got no empowering and all that. Can't be turning this into a positive. Gotta be some people higher up arguing things. You know what I mean? Just 6 degrees of separation, man. Sometimes I be Six figures? Yo, I had my boy talking to me last night. He said, yo, man, you paranoid, man. You damn right. You used to. He's been holding me back the whole damn prison sentence. Nigga, I've been serving motherfucking 3 to 5 over in this bitch.
Damn.
Nigga, 4 to 7 at this point. Good at being yeah, I approached him the same way. When he first started coming around, man, you with them boys. The higher you go up, the more deviant and corrupt it gets. I'm cooler just being up out the mud. Now the basement ain't too Solitary confinement, man. I don't even know how y'all get through to make different visitations and shit. I'm glad you do, you know what I mean? Niggas got me under the jail, niggas. El Chapo style.
I swear.
Donuts and cinnamons. Slept in the guards a couple bucks.
Every time I think I'm
They say that they charge dope, man. Y'all in there around something. This ain't even supposed to be happening.
Move away from them trees and stop fucking with the trees for a minute.
Solitary confinement.
Is that how we working on them trees?
Nigga got me back here like Hannibal Lecter and shit. They let y'all like the interviews and shit. Y'all like the interviews putting together, you know, my autobiography without my consent and shit.
So hot.
Too hot now?
It's crazy, like I'm in his stream, but I'm playing his stream and my stream, and you watching my stream and his stream.
So y'all echoing and whatnot.
Serious, man.
That's it. Last Saturday when I went to hang with Money, I did this the whole time I was riding. He was playing his music. That shit was hot. Me too, sir.
Full of detail, man.
We gotta get some of that good syrup again.
Yeah.
All this shit homemade, and then we got the fucking store-bought syrup.
They choose the DJ Khaled, another one. Another one. We crank out masterpiece after masterpiece, man. See the point, expect nothing less. Oh, is that the queen? Let's go to the queen.
What's good?
Chicken and waffles.
It's the eggs for me.
All things 2023, man. I'm definitely looking to take a new approach to this.
I gotta take all my water. There might be one more bottle in the refrigerator, I think.
I'm gonna just can.
Yeah, and while you going crazy, get the word to one of the regional directors. You know what I mean? To let up the case, the ongoing case of my account. Like, there's nothing to find here. I promise, man. Give them your word that you got my word, and I'm not going to become the next Malcolm X. That's not what I'm after. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to. You think you can manage that? Okay.
Am I giving too much feedback?
Yeah, you got rough elbows, not tell them. But
I think that might be too close to that camera. My bad. I think I was giving like feedback just now.
Iron Mask with whatever they were working with. You ever see the movie The Iron Mask? They kept money behind that Iron Mask for like 14 years.
Yeah, that was me doing it.
Mm.
I don't know. I think I fucked this stream up just now because that shit just keeps echoing in the stream.
Y'all
My
might
bad.
just gotta
My
disconnect.
bad, bro. I set the phone too close to my PlayStation camera, and now we got fucking 5 minutes of that shit right there. All in his stream.
Y'all might as well just exit out and try again later, right?
That's why he quiet as fuck. He like, what the fuck is this shit? Can I see the syrup again, babe?
Yes. Here you go.
That shit was building and shit. Stacking on the C-money. Give us free, nigga. I'ma stop.
Well, that shit not stop. My bad, bro.
Lower since we moved it away, which is cool. And was that right? Frequency and algorithm that just
Mm-hmm.
right. I'm about to get out there. But yeah. Stay dangerous, stay smart, stay up, stay focused. You already know the vibes.
All right. Fuck my man stream up for the last 5 minutes. That was my bad, though. I don't know what I was thinking when I put the camera, when I put the phone so close to the camera, not thinking about the echo reverb effect from that shit.
This holiday, master your kitchen with Wayfair.
We're doing James.
Hello,
People
James.
talk about science or atheism requiring faith.
Hey, how's it going? Just had the question, does science or atheism require faith?
No, next call. I'm just kidding.
It could if you're a lazy atheist, I suppose. I give reasons for why I think something. I don't really like the term naturalism, but like something akin to naturalism would be probably a position I'm sympathetic to. And I'd have reasons for those, and they're not faith-based. They're going to be based on either like a worldview analysis or the fact that it makes predictive expectations, or something along those lines. So I have like reasons. I wouldn't say it'd be faith, because faith to me is just trusting something and not really requiring a justifier for that proposition. It's just believing it, like really confidently.
How would you define faith, James? I guess that might help clarify things.
Faith would be the belief. Well, I guess if I could, that's a good question. I'm more thinking of like
Belief in the
when you
unknown.
use science, you are creating a model of reality.
Optimism.
Like observation and experimentation. And I think I'm an atheist myself.
the Bible says
scientific method and
the belief
critical thinking
in
is the
things
best
unseen.
method for constructing these models. But I think faith,
Optimism.
I see that faith
Hope.
comes into play where
You don't have to hope for what you already have, or wish for it.
reality, because for me, it seems like we'll
I have
never
faith everything's gonna work out.
actually
You know,
know
they call it
the
faith
true
because
nature
it's
of
not a
reality.
fact.
We just create these
Trust the
models
unknown.
within science.
Basically, go with the flow and hope that shit works
In
out.
my bank, and then I find $1
Right.
million in my bank. Right? Do you think that confirms like the thought that I had or the question that I had? Just try to make it as simple as we can.
I wouldn't say that was a scientific.
Well, no, it's not. I'm not saying it is. I'm starting off. I'm just starting off very, very simply.
Yes, I wouldn't say that wouldn't be like a critical like observation. That'd just be a chance.
But we can affirm the proposition being true, right?
You can affirm the proposition being true, but I would say that the method that you got to that proposition wasn't scientific and it wasn't the
That's
best.
fine. No, that's fine. I'm not claiming that it is. I'm just asking. We had a proposition on the table, which is whether or not I had $1 million in my bank, and then we gave some type of justification, and we can conclude reasonably that the proposition is likely true. Science is way more in depth with that, like you're pointing out, right? We can make predictions about something in the future that we don't already know, and we say we go look. I don't know if it was Neptune or Mercury. We did like just mathematical calculations, and we were like, oh, if we look here, we should see this thing, and we look and like, whoa, celestial object. Really, really, really good indicator that it's true, the hypothesis, and the fact that faith doesn't fit in that, right? There's nothing faith required in that. That's literally the best thing that you can do. I bet this thing is here. You do some math, you go look, and you find it. Like, there's nothing faith there for me.
You either verify your hypotheses or you eliminate it through experimentation. I think science is the antithesis of faith. To me, faith is believing something without evidence. It's a simple definition. So I think that would fly right in the face of science. As science, as I understand it, does exactly the opposite. They do not accept a proposition without proving it over and over again, testing it over and over again, and then peer reviewing it. So the only thing about science that I have to accept on faith is my understanding of it. Because, I mean, I don't have the ability to go and do the experiment myself and see it, but I can trust the experts in that field and trust and believe that what they're saying is true. I can watch the experiment if they videotape it or if I'm around to watch it, or I can try to replicate it. But I have to depend on some mechanism delivering me that information, whether it's a news source or a person or an individual who was there or the scientist who wrote the paper on it or whatever. I have to believe at some level that this information is accurate. You know what I'm saying? So that requires some level of
Why are you worrying about what's left
belief
on my phone?
in
Why are you-
a
why are
news
you-
source
why
or
are
a
you
person. But that's not the
even
same as faith.
talking about my
if
plate
you
right
will, in this
Because
pure
I'm the one that
definition.
made it.
And in regard
I'm
to
the reason
atheism
it's
regarding faith, again,
Yeah, I'm so
atheism is
full right
not
now,
a
but this
belief
shit is so
system.
good.
It's not
I
a
know.
structural.
I only made 4
worldview.
waffles.
This shit's gonna make me sleepy. Damn.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll eat the rest of your
I do have
eggs
like
if
a
you don't want.
smaller question that could be
I'll eat
answered
the
like
rest
in
of
a
your
few
eggs if you don't
sentences if you guys wouldn't mind. That's okay.
Say, yeah, right. You can have
Just
it.
about like,
I'm
so
good, man.
would atheism not include
I'll
things
put
like
this in the
Buddhism
microwave.
or like
Alright, I'm about
There's
to try
like
to.
I guess
hella
like
chicken.
half religious, half philosophical traditions like that, I guess.
I'm sorry. What's the question? Is it compatible to be an atheist and a Buddhist?
Basically,
variation. Maybe I don't know a lot about Buddhism to like comment on that, but
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
Buddhism
there's
is also like
atheists
a
that
way of
think
life.
that numbers are abstract doctrines, right? So
Yeah,
people
is
think
It's
Buddhism.
like enlightenment. Like these are rules of enlightenment type
in
shit.
They
philosophy
don't
of mind
technically
that
call it
brain isn't
a
purely
religion,
physical,
right?
right? There's nothing that entails
The internet's
atheism
about
that
to
you have
cut.
to be a physicalist or
I
Turn
just
this or
saw.
something
that.
off.
Yeah, I just saw that.
You're just talking about some proposition, whether God exists or whatever the proposition that someone
Let me
offers
turn the
you
Wi-Fi
about
off on the
this creator.
iPad.
So it should go
I'm
to
about to
that
get out
level, I
too.
guess.
I think that's the point, Mike. It's exclusive to the theist claim, the theistic God claim. I think a lot of people, I think, misunderstand atheism as though it's some worldview, and we have a handbook somewhere that our statement of our mission statement is there and all that. That's not what this is. It's just the response to the claim that there's a theistic God who rules and reigns the universe. That's simply it. You can be an atheist and a humanist. You can be an atheist and a spiritualist. You can be an atheist and a Hindu, I think, because I don't think there's a God involved there. So I don't know enough about Hinduism
But
to
now,
speak
I'm not cooking again
on
for
that
that.
issue. But it's not an
You shouldn't have
exclusive
to.
position, is
Yeah,
what
we gotta
we're
clean
trying
the
to
fridge
say.
out. We got plenty of food in there.
Right. I guess by faith, I'm not necessarily
Right.
faith like in a supreme being or faith in that. I mean,
Even though
like
the banana pudding's gone.
faith in
I said even though the banana
the
pudding's
behaviors
gone.
you're doing are going to accurately predict
I
the
wonder
future
why.
or benefit you. Like, for example, you asked me if you had $1 million in the bank. Like, let's say I have $1 million in the bank. Can I check that? And I went and checked. And let's say it's a Monday, and I happen to have $1 million in the bank. Okay, that's weird. But let's say then the week after that, on a Monday, the next Monday, again $1 million goes to my bank. Would it be like scientific or like would it be reasonable to like maybe guess or anticipate that the next Monday $1 million will appear again? Like as that keeps happening, let's say it happens 100 times or in a row.
Maybe if it keeps happening, presumably, but everything's based on the background information that you have, right? It's the reason why when I call you and say I got a flying puppy, for example, that you're probably not going to believe that claim because you don't have background information. And then if someone did end up showing you a flying puppy or something like that, you're probably not going to start believing that everybody that says it believes it because you've only seen this one time that it happened or whatever. That's not even actually the world that we even find ourselves in, right? We don't find ourselves getting $100 million like randomly. That's not what we do end up finding is we have an assessment of background information. And that's why when some Christians might say, oh, you sit on a chair, you have faith that it's not going to fall. I've heard that like a lot on TikTok from people.
That's
Or
what
faith
you
that
use
George
to
Washington
disintegrate
exists and all this. Or one or two
Like
completely
to
on
make
the
it
flashes,
separate like that.
because
All the
there's no
little, like,
background
cells
information
and
on the other thing
flashes.
that they're
And then right here, I put a lot of
I have
water
a
in it.
whole array of
Still a
people,
little bit
not
on the
even
bottom.
including myself, where chairs and things like this have
I put like a lot of water right here, just mix like half water, half paint, and then just poured it there, and then it gave that like wet sandy look, and then blew it so it looked like the waves
I
like
mean,
crashing.
that looks pretty good, babe.
The only thing,
and
I'm
that's
sorry,
precisely what the theist or somebody who's
Oh,
taking
okay.
faith doesn't seem to really have because what
there's
they're
this
doing
little
is
tiny
saying,
cut
I
right
don't
there,
need
but it's
background
also like it's
information
hard
just
wood
this
too,
claim.
so like
I
Is that
just
the
need
wood
to
or the
really
paint?
believe it to
I
be
don't
true.
know.
That's not what science
But
is
I think
doing
I
in
can
any
cover
sense.
it.
Science is
Or I can literally just be like, look,
You can get a little paintbrush and just dab it and fill it in with paint if you want
that's
to.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, that'll
Just a
work.
little bit of, I was thinking like a little bit of white, but I don't want to do too much. But this time when I do it, I'm gonna do like more deeper blues and stuff. But I kind of wanted that like greenish look. I don't know. I'm gonna get a couple of these and just play with it. But I'm impressed. Like this is not bad.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing I see more now is like the deeper contrast in colors.
From me,
Yeah, like the more contrast the colors are, is like the more vibrant the pieces stand out.
and that's what I was thinking with this. Like I picked up the green and the light blue, the turquoise green and the Caribbean blue. But then I was like, yo, I need something dark to break this up. So like I didn't necessarily need it. I could have went with something light, but I don't know. Like it's like the fusion of the dark blue and just the little pieces of white that pick it up for me. But once I looked at the side right here, like all the deep dark blues with just this light blue and no green, that's fire. So I was like, I gotta do that too.
That's like
Yeah,
it's not
I'm
a bad
pretty
thing, right? What we
pretty
end up
proud of
doing
this one.
is learning from our mistakes. That's a good
Just
thing.
gotta
We
touch
weren't
up that little
justified in the
piece, and then I
decision
want you to
given
show
the
me how to
background
do
information that we had. There's no
The
having everything all at
the
once.
garden
That's what we're
switch.
trying to do.
Okay.
So it doesn't undermine the thesis. Because if that's the case, then I guess we should have just never started and just kicked rocks, right? Because we will never make mistakes to get to that plateau. That just seems strange,
no,
right?
No. I totally agree with you, but I'm saying, like, given that, like, science can be rewritten, like, at any moment, isn't it, like, a little, like, to just wholesale, like, discount all religious thought?
There's no discounting. We're asking theists to call in and give us the evidence. If we discounted it, we wouldn't have a show asking them. There would be no show. I wouldn't do this show. I would just be like, it's false, and I'd move on with my life. I'm opening myself up that what you're saying could be true. It's just the case that in 20 years nobody's actually given a good argument or evidence for it. I mean,
the bigger issue here is the $1 million in your bank account. If I found that on a Monday, I would cash that out and move to Costa Rica because I figured it was probably a mistake and it wasn't going to happen again. So that's what we really need to talk about.
I want that.
Yeah. I do understand what you're saying. I still do believe, like, and maybe I'm making a bigger deal of it. I'm not trying to make it, like, as a weakness, but, like, as a natural component of science, you have to have the faith that the scientific thought of today will not transition to pseudoscience. And that's going to be
I think I'm tripping over the word. I'm tripping over the word faith. When you say you have to have faith that this certain thing won't be true or will be true, I just think that's probably, for me, the wrong word to use, because you're in the process of discovering and eliminating options and finding better solutions. That's the work of science, and that to me is the opposite of faith. Faith is where you're believing something without evidence and you're locking into a position. And so, to me, I would use a different word. I just feel like it's confusing the issue unnecessarily.
Dave, I think horses it up really well. You have belief in the just thinking the proposition is true and having reasons or justification, science predicated on that, having faith that I think Christianity is true. I can hold that position of faith and not give anybody a reason. I can go, it's just faith. That's not what science would do. Science would not go, I don't have to give. They would give you the predictive expectations that were driven. Now, whether there would end up being false, that's fine. We can just grant that. What do? We end up using that background information to have a more defensible position. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. That's why the science of medicine changes and why people can, get better medication or live longer, right? This is all about updating that. We're going to be wrong. We're all going to be wrong in our lives. We're all going to make mistakes. We're humans. It's what we do. We do it really well. We make mistakes. I know in times not to do something, like wait to the last minute to try to do my project and squeeze it out. Like I know that from my past history. We make mistakes, but when we update and we actually go, wow, I shouldn't have done that, and I actually employ that into my background information, we end up having more defensible positions. We end up becoming better people. We end up understanding more about the world. So it's not. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think to say that would be a negative thing would be weird. It's a good thing that we can say, yeah, we don't ultimately know, but we have a damn fucking good reason to think that this is the case. I think that's better than just sitting on my hands going, I think the Christian God that I'm 2,000 years removed from is true because book says a thing, There's none of us your thing. It's a different claim. It's a completely different. One gives a shit, the other doesn't.
Yeah, it's two different levels of certainty. Like, yeah, you're right. I'm just at the end of the day, sometimes it feels like there's a certain arrogance that science is always going to provide the best way, and I think it naturally will because the principles of critical thinking will naturally point towards that trend. But
I mean, boo-hoo for the rest of them that don't like the method that works. Boo-hoo. Sorry, Dave.
Just wanted to hear your guys' thought on that. I'm an atheist myself, so I just wanted to do some pushback against my own beliefs and community. So, yeah, I appreciate what you guys do, and I like listening to stuff. So, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, James.
emotions that it brings when I look back. I did think that I was going to die, but fear didn't overtake me. I didn't know who he was at the time. I didn't even know he was a serial killer. I believe I survived because God needed to use someone to just bring justice for their loved ones. Like a whisper in a hollow, tears fall down while they pray for tomorrow. Nobody knows, nobody sees. Search back roads and cold city streets. There's evil
Mm-hmm.
in the dark. Blood on the hands and the devil in the heart.
We start this half hour with a story that is gripping families in the state of Louisiana this morning.
It has happened again. The body of a woman has been found at Whiskey Bay.
There was a body, and then another body, and another body, and it was all women.
Oh my God, we have a serial killer.
Police are searching for a killer preying on women here.
I couldn't even imagine what type of person would do this.
Be more additions to the list of confirmed serial killer victims around here.
16 postmortem stabs, just on and on and on and on. The murderer actually cut off limbs of his victims. A ritualistic type of killing.
Remain calm. I know there's a lot of fear in this city, and I feel it.
Every time you turn on the news, another girl's disappeared.
That put the body count of connected murders at 5. This is serial killer number 2 at work.
I think that the fear in Baton Rouge is starting to get at a tipping point.
I think we all go back in time. You think of Jack the Ripper. You think of Ted Bundy. You think of the Zodiac Killer. But they are so far removed from us that all of a sudden, here in Baton Rouge, it's like we have this here.
Another murder has now been linked to a serial killer.
Sheriff detectives say they found the nude body of a 43-year-old woman.
It was incredible to even contemplate. But could there be a third serial killer?
This area has always been home to me. It's just a big university town, big political town. It's the capital. It's a fun place. It's got really nice people. And I enjoy living here. So it's home. It doesn't look like a place where murders happen, does it? When I was here, you walked in numbers. You didn't jog alone. You carried pepper spray. I had a pepper spray on my keychain for years. I mean, everyone runs the lake. It's always full of people. I mean, it is just the perfect hunting ground for a serial killer.
In the late 1990s and early 2000s, several women from all different parts of life were being killed in Baton Rouge. I think that the tension escalated when there were women that were taken from their homes and killed. Neighbors didn't know what happened other than the son was wandering around in the front yard looking for his mom.
Randy McBure's son was about 3 or 4 years old. He had walked next door to the neighbors and asked that he could come over to play. She said, well, let's go ask your mama. He said, my mama's not there.
They checked on her and she was just gone. There was just no sign of her in the house.
As I arrived on the scene, I saw pink garbage bags on the ground in front of the door. As I
I walked into the residence, we saw drag marks on the carpet where it appeared to be a body dragged across the carpet from the bedroom area. We also noticed on the child's door blood droplets on his door. It appears that the attacker had looked in on the child while he was asleep. We found her contact lens in the blood on the carpet in the living room area. The attack was very violent. Blunt force trauma was committed to her body and knocked her contact lens out.
Miss May Brewer's keys were missing from the house, but her car was there, which would give you some pause as to why that happened. Anytime something's missing from a home, it certainly draws attention to that.
Randy Meeber and Connie Warner lived a block away from each other. If you looked out Connie Warner's front door and looked over the roof of the house in front of that, you could see Randy Meeber's house. We were called there because Connie was missing and there appeared to be a struggle. We noticed different things turned over in the living room. We saw where there was struggle in the bedroom area. Different things were thrown around inside the bedroom. As we did process the crime scene and the car, we noticed that the car keys were missing from her vehicle. We found body fluids, blood in the backseat of the car, but also evidence on top of the trunk of the car. We thought maybe the attacker took her car to remove her body from the area, brought the car back, and left it at the house. The biggest problem that happened to this investigation was we had a hurricane come through, Hurricane Andrew.
In his rampages across Florida and Louisiana, Andrew has left at least 20 people dead.
So the case was kind of halted. When she was found weeks later by the state capitol area, her body was decomposed to the point where we could not find any evidence. You know, being a smaller agency, we did not have that many homicides in Zachary. Our case went cold, but I felt like the cases were connected. There's no doubt in my mind at the time that the same attacker had abducted Connie Warner away from her house, used her vehicle. Same attacker abducted Randy Meeber from her house and used her vehicle to transfer her body also. We talked to many witnesses involved, including Randy Meeber's family. Randy had an ex-husband she was divorced from. We interviewed him, and, you know, he was a suspect. But what bothered us was, why would he leave his child there? You could see the blood droplets on the child's door. It just didn't feel like he was the prime suspect in the case, according to me.
Unfortunately, Randy's body was never found, and she was never heard from again.
Not in our wildest dreams did we think we might be faced with a serial killer at this point who would continue to kill until we stopped him.
We would caution the public not to let anyone into your house unless you know who they are.
I'm thinking, is this somebody they knew? Is this somebody in the neighborhood?
Her murder was just incredibly brutal.
I'm going to be honest, nobody wants to think that you may have a serial investigation taking place until it's proven.
Because we never know. Am I going to be next?
They found DNA that ties to one individual.
The light bulb goes off in your head.
It was like coming out of a dream, just waking up and seeing that there were a series of very vicious deaths.
We've changed the whole complexion of our case.
We now know we have a serial killer.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're taking you on a true crime ride-along.
This was a horrific scene.
You're not a murderer. No. With twists and turns.
I've never seen anything like this.
And of course, dead ends.
You're still with no answer.
And it all leads to Dateline.
Isn't a confession the strongest evidence you can get?
Not always. Oxygen True Crime is where you can find Dateline every Tuesday and Wednesday. We live and breathe true crime.
1992, Connie Warner was abducted from her house. Her body was found in Baton Rouge during Hurricane Andrew. 98, we had another murder right around the corner from Connie Warner's house. The victim was Randy Meeper. In 97, we began receiving complaints in the area of Oak Shadows, which is where Connie Warner and Randy Meeper lived, about a peeping Tom. The individual was later identified as Derek Todd Lee.
Derek Todd Lee was known around Zachary and maybe the St. Francisville area. He had been a peeping Tom. He had been arrested for that. And I think he'd been suspected of several other crimes. He was definitely on law enforcement radar.
Derek Todd Lee, in his childhood, he had some violent tendencies and committed some crimes back then, including burglary. Based off what I've seen in 92 with Connie Warner, the peeping Tom in 97, and then again, Randy Meeper's case in 98. Derek Todd Lee was definitely a suspect. We didn't have a search warrant, but he allowed us in the house to look around. I'll never forget that night I was in the bedroom. One side of the closet was very neat, folding clothes. The other side of the closet was disarranged. While I was searching his closet, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I turned around. He was right there on top of me. I had to kind of push him back, get him off of me. He became agitated and asked us to leave the house. Obviously, I was close to something in that closet that he didn't want me to see.
They just didn't have any witnesses. They didn't have any leads. But at that point in time, DNA was just in its infancy. So there wasn't a lot of testing going on in Baton Rouge, and there was not the CODIS database. And that was really before DNA was a tool that was used in law enforcement in Baton Rouge.
No physical evidence at the scene, not really understanding DNA back then in 1998. Just really couldn't come up with a whole lot of evidence at the time.
At this point, this case can't be solved. It becomes what is known as a cold case.
January of 99, received a call that a body had been discovered in a remote area of Baton Rouge. I go to the scene and there's the nude body of a black female under a dead end sign. On the first look, it was apparent that the body had been posed in a manner to draw attention.
There was just something about the position of her body, particularly when she was naked. And you see the human body, the human outline, so much better than if she had been fully dressed. But it was as if she was floating, as if she was a ballerina, the way her arms were placed, the way the legs were placed.
The most striking thing was the cuttings on and about her body. It was almost as if someone had tried to perform their own autopsy on her. She was significantly cut, like a deep cut from almost her hip down her leg, almost to her ankle, where you could actually see the bone in her leg.
16 post-mortem stabs, that's a lot. That's like somebody overkill, just on and on and on and on.
Obviously, you had a sick individual that had committed this homicide. The fingerprints taken from the victim, they were matched to Catherine Hall. Catherine Hall had a criminal record.
She was, in fact, a person who had addictions, who had prostitution arrests. So you have basically a woman who is vulnerable, who is chosen because of that vulnerability. The person targeted very clearly is, to me, like an animal stalking prey. Animals pick the weakest of the lot to go after and kill. In the mind of the killer, these are people of lesser values, but they are still someone's mother, someone's daughter. They are someone's loved one.
In addition to the significant cuttings on and about her legs and body, what we found very disturbing is her killer had also cut off one of her eyelids.
It's like, what are you doing with this? Are you taking this? Are you taking this as a souvenir? In Catherine's mouth was what appeared to be a pubic hair with a root on it. Difference between just finding a hair without a root and the hair with a root is that if a hair has a root, it has DNA in it. When the testing was done, it was found that that root produced a DNA sample that could be matched to somebody. But there was nobody in the system to compare it to. The other thing that was very unusual was the fact that there are some very strange ligature marks on her neck. And a ligature can be a piece of cloth, it can be a piece of cord, but it can also be a zip tie. Her neck appeared to have a tie like that.
Several days later, a citizen found some items that had been dumped on River Road from where she was found. It's a good 15 or 20 miles. That was later determined to be the victim's jacket, ID, and there was also a zip tie that was cut.
A zip tie sufficiently large to be placed around a person's neck.
We followed up on every possible lead we could, but because of her high-risk lifestyle, you really don't find a lot of people willing to talk about it.
This is a person whose joy is in the killing and the mutilation. This is a totally different animal. What a forensic profiler would call a ritualistic type killing.
In 1999, there was an anonymous phone call made from a payphone.
They said they have a dead body in this building. Used to be the old Dynasty Club. That girl named Florida Douglas.
The caller said her name was Florida Douglas, which is her maiden name, which told me that he knew the victim. He knew her well.
Okay, you know her?
This is the last thing you would expect to happen.
It reminded me of a mob-style execution.
Hell hath no fury.
She thought she was going to get away with this.
Like a woman snapped.
She had this feeling of ultimate betrayal.
When you're in love with somebody that much, there's no telling what you'll do for somebody. She was a woman that you need to be fearful of.
Snapped returns with brand new episodes, Sundays at 6, only on Oxygen True Crime.
In the state of Louisiana, a parish is a county, and each parish has several cities, and each city has a police department. Each parish or county would have a sheriff's department. At the time, we're all working our own homicides, but a lot of the dots aren't being connected because of jurisdictional lines.
There wasn't a lot of communication between parishes. So if a murder happened here and a murder happened in Lafayette, law enforcement officers weren't working together in order to solve those murders. In 1999, there was an anonymous phone call made from a payphone.
What's your emergency? Oh, they said they have a dead body in this building on the corner of Ellis and North Boulevard. Used to be the old Dynasty Club. They say they have a dead body in there. Who said? Some guys that were passing by. That girl named Florida Douglas. Okay, you know her?
The caller made the 911 call said there was a dead body in the old Dynasty Club building that was vacant at the time. They had shrubbery growing and greenery growing inside of the building. There was lots and lots of trash.
It obviously had been a place that probably drug users had frequented. She was found, she was nude, and she was on her back, and she was draped over a box.
It appeared that someone may have sat on top of her body and strangled her. The killer placed her body on top of the box, so investigators would have a shock effect once we see the body. We were able to get DNA from that scene in a form of bodily fluids we think was semen on her legs. We fingerprinted the victim at the crime scene. We eventually identified her as being Florida Edwards. Even though McCauley said her name was Florida Douglas, which is a maiden name, which told me that he knew the victim and knew her well.
At that point in time, there were no eyewitnesses. Obviously, somebody made a phone call, but nobody knew who that was.
The handset that the caller made from his payphone had tissue or napkin wrapped around the handset, which means that he did not want to leave his fingerprints.
There was just a long list of women that were murdered in Baton Rouge. Women from all different parts of life. There were women that were taken from their homes and killed. And then also there were people that had high-risk lifestyles that were killed.
All of a sudden, there are a lot of killing of women of the street.
Two neighbors in the area of North Acadian smelled a foul smell coming from a house nearby. They contacted the police department. When I walked inside that house, it was vacant. It was a lot of trash inside. Once we got to the back of the residence, we discovered a dead body of a female. The female body was in an advanced stage of decomposition. You can tell about the infestation of insects on her body. And you can tell that she had injury to her head. She was leaning against the wall. Her legs were spread apart.
There was a Bud Light can along with all the other trash. That Bud Light can and several others were fingerprinted, and there was a fingerprint lifted from that was kept at the State Police Crime Lab.
Fingerprints from the body in the house was matched to Sylvia Cobb, who was reported missing days prior to discovering her body.
She was described by her family members to have been somewhat down on her luck and was found to be in areas where there was high-risk behavior. Both Florida Edwards and Sylvia Cobb frequented places that were high risk. They were at least in the neighborhoods where drugs were being used and prostitution was prevalent. I think that law enforcement was concerned that because there were similarities, they were both posed, both found in areas that were frequented by drug users and prostitutes, that these victims may have been murdered by the same person.
While investigating the crimes in North Baton Rouge, at the same time, we had another murder that took place in the LSU area of Stanford Avenue.
Gina Wilson Green lived on Stanford Avenue, which is a very well-traveled road in Baton Rouge that's about 4 blocks from LSU. Gina was a nurse, and she just didn't show up for work one day, and one of her colleagues tried to get in touch with her and couldn't do so. So he went out to her house to do a welfare check and found her dead in her bed.
We got to the residence and the back door was unlocked. But once we got in, we could see the rug that led from the back door to the bedroom was sort of shift to the right a little bit, which tells us that possibly a struggle took place near the doorway. You can see Gina Green laid in her bed. There was a small amount of blood near her body. can see some kind of ligature marks around her neck. It's obvious that she was strangled.
When they worked the crime scene in the house, they recovered a blouse that they believed that she was wearing at the time of the attack.
We realized she had things missing from her residence. Her purse, she had her cell phone missing. I think the killer that took the property and evidence from Jenny Green house, his intention probably was to throw us off track. We got help from a local phone company to track Jenny Green's cell phone.
They camped it out off Choctaw. This is kind of a northern part of Baton Rouge, kind of deserted, kind of like a warehouse district.
Along with a cell phone, we collected evidence of her mail as well as her purse and denim shorts. And what's valuable about that is that we was able to get trace evidence from those items that was collected.
There wasn't much of a DNA database across the country and certainly not in Baton Rouge. So they had the genetic identity of the murderer, but they couldn't do much with them because there wasn't a large database to draw information from.
Anyone who knew Gina Green.
Gina Green was a registered nurse. Was there some connection between her murder and her work in some way? But it was also a forced entry, a home invasion where they went in, secured her as fast as they could, and then ended up raping and killing her.
This is a person coming into your home, knowing your schedule, raping you, not leaving, but then viciously making you fight for your life. And we don't know who it is. We never, ever, ever dreamed that anything like this would happen.
Wednesdays. She's out there somewhere and somebody knows.
That's right.
All new episodes of Dateline Secrets Uncovered are back on Oxygen.
Was your gut telling you that this was someone she knew?
Yes. With in-depth investigations.
They're describing killers who are incredibly disciplined.
And compelling mysteries.
I didn't know what to do.
Makes you
Absolutely furious. I think he's a sexual deviant. Okay.
I also think after into him that he is.
Personal opinion. I can't declare it. You can label this misinformation if you want. Just to be clear. All right. So, here's why I think so. 2010, Yoel Roth posted a link to a story titled, "Can High School Students Ever Meaningfully Consent to Sex with Their Teachers?" Spoiler alert, maybe. You can go read it. 2012, Roth tweeted out, "I enjoy having the kinds of meetings where Googling, quote, gay bareback porn is considered academic work." 2015, Roth actually wrote this regarding the future of porn at Twitter. Quote, "Twitter will live to porn another day. Thing I just yell out loudly at work."
Unbelievable. All right, so these are the tweets on his personal account. Do you know that he had a secret dirty account? Not kidding. Not making this up. He had a dirtier. Well, he called it his dirty account. For him, this is normal everyday language that he would use around anybody. He had a silly boy account. He had a silly boy account. It was called Otterific.
I mean, if it's not bothering you,
if anybody, I feel like you're saying that flippantly.
And otter probably means something.
yeah, that should be good.
It really does. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought it was Otterific. That made perfect sense.
Yes.
Otter.
Autoerotic.
It's probably sick and disgusting.
His name is my name too.
Cannot comprehend. But
Yeah,
that
right.
account and all of the tweets have been wiped.
Really?
So what we're hoping.
Why are you telling me about this? I've been doing research for the last 48 hours. Why are you telling me about? Well, I don't know about Honorific.
I'm
Do
just
what?
saying, Honorific, he made a couple of comments in some of his tweets about having this other account, and there's some really interesting tweets.
All right, Thanatos control room.
But just,
it's been taken down so they can see if they can find it. And Otter is a gay man who is very hairy all over his body, but is smaller in frame and weighs considerably less than a bear.
That doesn't make any sense. Otters are smooth.
well, that is weird.
I mean, I get they're mammals.
Ones I've met certainly are.
I get they're mammals, so technically there's hair. Do you think of otters as hairy?
Yeah, no. I get it.
I just thought of them as cute.
Yes.
I've never touched an otter, to be honest.
In Santa Claus is Coming to Town, he says, he's as slippery as a seal, which is, let's just be honest, it's another otter.
Yeah. I thought a seal was
It's just a bigger otter. I know they're not the same thing.
I don't know much
We think
about
he's
nature.
dirty on this. He creates an entirely separate
one with
account
a
so he
club
can
and
let
a
his
coat.
freak flag fly. Like, that's what this guy's doing.
Yeah, well, here's something else. Again, why I think he's a sexual deviant.
Yeah.
Now, those are tweets, and you can say, people drunk tweet all the time. Sure, you can tell by the typos. Here's his PhD thesis was titled Gay Data, and in it, he said that minors he advocated for minors to be on gay dating websites. Here's some quotes. It's worth considering how, if at all, the current generation of popular sites of gay network sociability might fit into an overall queer social landscape that increasingly includes individuals under the ages of 18.
Minors. Yeah. Read that as minors. Yeah. Individuals under the age of 18. I get it, y'all. Minors.
I think individuals under the age of 18 sounds worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it sounds worse.
What if a focus group you ran sucks? Who'd you hire? Frank Luntz and his stupid sneakers and toupee?
Also, I love the way that he tries to sound smart by the words he chose, but he just sounds like a bigger fucking idiot, pardon my language. My God.
And he forgets to put a plural on the word things.
Yeah.
Sorry, HIV brain. So,
A+.
Rather than merely trying to absolve themselves of legal responsibility, or worse, trying to drive out teenagers entirely, which we know means teenagers under 18, service providers should instead focus on crafting safety strategies that can accommodate a wide variety of use cases for platforms like Grindr, including possibly their role in safely connecting queer young adults. I don't know why he sounds like the dentist from I'm going to be a queer dentist. We don't need any homo dolls.
Stop trying to have sex with kids.
Yes, I would say that.
Is it that hard?
Grindr is a hookup app. That's all it is. It's a hookup app.
Do whatever you want as an adult.
Hey.
Stop.
Yeah.
Why is this so prevalent?
Well, and why do you think they hate conservatives and hated Donald Trump so much?
It's
Why do you think this
disgusting.
guy buried the Hunter laptop story?
Leave our kids alone. It's seriously just disgusting.
It's absolutely
I'm so tired of seeing it. It's nonstop. Every time they leak one of these things out about any of these guys, it always involves child. It's disgusting on every level.
It's absolutely disgusting. This is also why it's important that we're able to talk. Look, I get that this is not a pleasant topic to discuss.
Oh no, I'm not saying that I'm.
No, I get it, but I'm saying to people out there, look, they can't discuss this at church. We've talked about this in the past. Pastors go out and go, this is why I have a problem as a Christian going to church, and they'll say, oh, there's evil out there. Why don't you name it? Why don't you name it? The evil of the Lord will... You're speaking generalities. How about the head of Twitter Trust and Safety advocating for pederasty, advocating for sex with children? And then they'll be offended that we address the evil that we live... Look, you have people on the right who don't acknowledge the evil, and then you have the people engaging in the evil, and we're kind of in that in-between. I'm sorry it offends you. This person's a degenerate.
But your college thesis is based on how to make social media able to connect adults and children to have sex.
Yes.
So you get hired at a social media company to be in charge of safety. Just want to make sure that's clear.
That's some pretty good foreshadowing because it's going to come back.
Oh, good.
We are going to bring this tugboat back to shore.
Oh, just wanted to make sure that I heard that right.
And I want to make sure that you don't have an aneurysm because it gets bad.
Can I have a gun?
Yeah, well, we have plenty, but no. If you kill yourself, do it with anything other than a Walther. I don't want the sponsorship.
I don't think he wants to kill himself.
We have someone retweeting one of the Otterific tweets.
Oh, boy.
He said, muscle bear with beard hot.
Yeah.
Muscle bear with beard holding a child inexplicably hotter.
Holding a child. Muscle bear holding it. This is one of the tweets that I saw somebody else retweet. How about that?
Okay, don't take this as a threat of violence. If that is confirmed, and that is real, someone saying, holding a child is hotter, that's someone who, if they're ever near my children, is getting their ass kicked. Is that okay?
Yes.
Is that okay? Does that offend you more than a guy saying he's sexually aroused by a hairy gay man holding a child? He's getting the shit kicked out of him. And we're at a point where people are afraid of being demonetized. They're afraid of being removed if we say, hey, you want to sexualize children? You got an ass beating coming your way. How about this? I'll give you renounce it. Renounce the shit you just said about being aroused about it being erotic in a sexual context with a child. If you don't renounce it, if there aren't severe consequences for people like this, and I mean with the proper legal system, or if they're around a child, they shouldn't be allowed within 100 yards of a child.
Electrocution.
Yep.
Lethal injection.
Right. Joking.
Well, like a bunch of Home Alone things. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah, a bunch of
except how it really works when you're hit with a paint can.
You just play the sound of children frolicking. They put it was the sound of a tool chest.
But you can't
coming down the playground stairs.
You can't even pretend that was something where you're like, but it's like a good father. It's this. It's you saying hotter because you're a pervert.
Because you're a pervert.
And this is also the problem with so many people being able to hide their identities. That's the biggest problem.
And by the way, mugclubforever.com, because God only knows what happens. Other people have to tiptoe around it, including, by the way, we're not just talking about liberals. Hopefully conservatives are ready out there to charge the hill. I don't want to see a conservative movement where you're concerned about being demonetized. We're concerned about being removed. And we can't have any kind of conservative movement where they're the enforcement arm of big tech, because they tell you that we're not allowed to say what we just said. I don't think it's all that controversial. You sexualize children, you're a criminal. Is it? Were you about to say something?
Yeah, so that was in response, that tweet was in response to something he had posted about having a hotter profile picture, which means he's saying, this is hot. The profile picture you're posting, Yoel, is hotter. This isn't just him commenting that that's hotter. It's saying, hey, Yoel, I see that you just posted another profile picture. It's actually hotter than it was before, because Yoel was actually on his honorific saying, I just posted a much hotter picture for my profile. Like,
did we just read the response, or was that
we just read the response to that. Yeah.
What was it that he said?
So that's what's not available anymore. He just hinted that he had done it.
So we can read the responses.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to read the way back.
There's got to be. I hope Elon seriously digs out. There's got to be a way to find that.
Elon knows, because Elon made the comment about Yoel, and he started all of
this. Is what brings it. So during Roth's time at Twitter, and Elon talked about this, child porn was a huge problem. We just had this last week, and this ties right back into Yoel.
Security was running it.
Yeah, Elon Musk said to a tweet about child porn on Twitter, it is a crime that they refused to take action on child exploitation for years. And then you had Jack Dorsey claiming that the story was false. Elon replied, when Ella Irwin, who now runs Trust and Safety, joined Twitter earlier this year, almost no one was working on child safety. I made it top priority immediately. Now, I know what people are going to say on the left because they want to obfuscate. He got rid of the department that had Trust and Safety. No, he got rid of the Trust and Safety department so he could actually enforce the laws regarding child pornography. Yeah. Because if the Trust and Safety department allows child pornography while throttling the Hunter Biden laptop story, it ceases to serve any relevance. So that's the switch they try and tell you. Elon Musk got rid of the child trust and he's allowing child. No. He is going after and has been publicly attacking previous heads of councils at Twitter for abetting child pornography. And he's putting his money where his mouth is. This is really important. Don't let people fool you into believing that Elon shut down that department. Now, here's what happens, right?
Shouldn't that be number one, and that's what he made it? It should have been number one before, and it's why he made it number one now.
Yes.
That should be the top priority of any security for an internet site, I would assume, for a social media site.
Yes, absolutely. You deserve the full run of the law if you do not get rid of child pornography on social media. I would think, hey, this is the whole myth of common ground.
There's no common ground.
We talk about dreamers. We talk about kids who come here and they're no fault of their own. What about dreamers? And they should get, we should get a citizenship. Hold on a second. Before we get to common ground, hey, what about saying child porn is bad? Well, I would say it, but my college thesis that, no common ground. I have plenty of friends. I could use a few enemies. Screw you. Now, here's the thing. Elon Musk went after Twitter for this. He was very public about it. I just read you the tweets, right? Now, let me ask you this. This is a tweet. It is a crime that they refuse to take action on child exploitation for years. Okay. Does that sound like a threat?
Does that sound like a call to violence? No, because guess who gets to play the victim? Roth. Because even though he's a white cis male, Elon Musk is a white heterosexual cis male. So we go back to that. And so he said that he may have to, he had to flee his home due to what CNN described. Again, CNN is in this incestuous relationship as, quote, an escalation in threats resulting, not Elon Musk, resulting from Musk's campaign of criticism against him. You mean there's been an escalation of threats resulting from Elon Musk's campaign of criticizing someone who actively promoted and wrote a thesis on supporting child pornography? We feel bad for the child porn guy? You wanted to oust Clarence Thomas because he made a joke about a pube on his can of Coke, and it was a very funny joke. All of America wrote down in their journals, he told a funny joke today. This guy's telling people that child porn should be acceptable, and we're supposed to feel bad for him? Come on, guys. There's not going to be a civilization left to protect unless you put your foot down. Look behind you. That's where you were supposed to hold the line. We're not looking to get removed from YouTube. We're not looking to get removed from big tech. But if it means speaking out against child porn peddlers, all references available at LetUsCredit.com, I am willing to accept the results. Please go to mugclubforever.com. Mugclubforever.com. Bring it up full screen there, too, man. Mugclubforever.com. We don't want to lose touch with you. Have some major announcements coming forward. The leash is off completely. I don't give a rat's ass how much this offends somebody. Oh, don't you feel like you should? No. I'm out of compassion to give. The second you sexualize kids, that's it. You're an enemy. Renounce it. Has he renounced it? Has he renounced it?
Hasn't renounced it yet, right? And by the way, you don't get to play the victim card when all that's been done, and by the way, CNN wanted to use harsher language in this, his campaign of criticism. He's critiquing his work.
CNN just had a producer who was what was the name of the producer? We just talked about that. With some,
Every one of them?
Yes. No, that's Stelter's interns.
Oh, right.
And he's no longer there. Sorry. Harvard senior fellow interns. Who was the person at CNN just recently? They're undergoing.
It was one of the producers of Don Lemon Show.
Well, who could have guessed?
Yeah, who would have ever... But criticism. His campaign of criticism. He's basically just saying, hey, I think you did a bad job of taking care of this one area while you're here. By the way, here's your PhD thesis paper, which seems... He said it like this. It seems to advocate for underage gay sex.
Well, not even seems to. It just to suggest it should... Yeah,
he was being careful, and
Elon was,
you're right. On his wording, but he worded it just like that. But that's all we're talking about is I've done bad deeds. Now they're being brought to light, but because they're being brought to light, I'm now the victim. That's Joel Roth right now.
Well, he believes that no good deed goes unsexed if it's a 15-year-old boy. Hey, Fauci right now is on CNN. Just so you know, we'll go back to all the other reasons. Hospitals across the United States overwhelmed by flu, COVID, RSV cases. Don't you love how they just blended in? What happened to the ticker of COVID deaths? Now flu is listed first. Let's hear what the science has to say. Keep in mind, child sex offenders, right? Producers at CNN. We only know of the ones that we've caught. Let's see what he has to say.
To protect them, their family, and society, we have a vaccine for flu, and we're having a pretty bad and early flu season. If you look at the trajectory...
Oh, if only people could have listened to Dr. Rob McCullough, who was banned from Twitter, from Facebook. Yeah. Our episode taken down when we had him on before he went anywhere else, just to be clear. If only someone could have been saying, if you keep doing this, you're going to have a horrible flu season. If only someone knew it when Fauci was the science. You removed all of them.
Oh, was staying inside for so long bad for your immune system to not be out with people? Oh, who knew?
Oh, it's a scientific thing. You don't understand.
I wouldn't have assumed that myself.
No, I know. It's
probably why I kept traveling as a germaphobe.
Don't concern yourself with our science things. Let's hear what he's saying.
Mask appropriately in an indoor setting.
Shut up.
Talking about mandating anything. I'm talking about the common sense of when you go into a congregative setting, particularly when you have a lot of infection like that you think about the possibility of wearing a mask. And what somewhat encouraging thing.
It's been somewhat encouraging.
RSV, as bad as it is, particularly for young
prove it to not work.
Elderly, we have peaked there, it looks like, and is starting to come down. So let's hope it continues to have a trajectory downward.
This is the problem. This is the problem with having hall monitors run your country. Look, There's some risk in life, and at a certain point, you accept the risk. No one here is saying that COVID wasn't real. No one here is saying that COVID was not significantly more lethal to certain demographics than the standard flu, particularly the elderly and the immune compromised. Yeah. No one here is saying that. We are just saying that people had the right to make informed decisions. They had the right to hear from Dr. Rob McCullough just as much as Elon Musk. They had the right to hear from those practicing physicians in Los Angeles and in Florida when those videos were removed from all of social media, because part of what they were shouting from the rooftops is exactly what's happening now. Do you see the problem with limiting speech? Do you see it? It comes back to bite you every single time. Okay, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, the CNN producer you were asking about before was John Griffin from Chris Cuomo's old show. He allegedly led a perverted double life where he was part of a sordid BDSM ring that included a child, a 9-year-old girl.
Jeez.
And he's...
Oh, so it was Chris Cuomo, who also led a perverted double life.
Yeah. Well, he just grabbed he just smacked his secretary in the butt or something. Maybe. He didn't. The point is, BDSM with a 9-year-old girl, allegedly. If it becomes not allegedly, let me ask you this. Comment below. If someone was part of an underground sex ring, right, with a 9-year-old girl, this is a question. I want you to comment below. There is strength in numbers. And by the way, let's keep it. Let's keep it. I don't want to say civil. Let's just not make it any more filthy or aggressive than it needs to be. I want you to comment below. I want you to comment below. Genuinely here. If it's no longer allegedly, 9-year-old girl. That's what you said, Tokunawa?
Yeah.
9-year-old girl BDSM sex ring. If it no longer becomes allegedly, meaning found guilty, death penalty. Would you support that? If it no longer is allegedly, legally is what I'm asking you. What do you think about people who sexually abuse 9-year-old girls or boys? If you're not willing to die on this hill, I pray to God that you don't have kids. Anyway, we go back to this Roth, who is an absolute piece of shit. So, thank you. We'll get this back on track. Here's reason number 2. So, the guy who supports pedophilia, the guy who met with U.S. intelligence agencies, by the way, the CIA, remember how much child porn they found on those computers? We covered that later. Not saying there's some secret cabal of everyone who's a pedophile.
Commercial.
Yeah, we did. What I'm saying is there are enough pedophiles and enough people who don't have a problem with pedophilia and child sex trafficking who could do something about it. In other words, here's the problem. It's not that someone is a that is a problem. I shouldn't say it's not that. That is a problem. Just to be clear. Yeah. It's always a problem. Problem. Someone says, not a problem. No, problem if you're a pedophile. But the real problem, the more significant problem, I want to choose my words very carefully here because I wouldn't want to offend pedophiles. The real problem, beyond people being pedophiles or advocating for it, is people at intelligence agencies who could stop it. For example, Larry Nassar. It's people at intelligence agencies who are tasked with keeping you safe and you are told to trust. It's people in charge of departments like Twitter, Trust, and Safety who are advocating for it. So in other words, pedophilia, right? It's a very small percentage of the population. But you only need a few of those people in positions of power for it to have catastrophic results, like child porn proliferating across Twitter. Oh, and the intelligence agencies don't do anything about it. You think Chris Cuomo was going to cover this? You think his producer was going to put that into his print document? This brings us to reason number 2. Oh, we already hit it. Reason number 2. Roth, so this is pedophile to begin with. He was also the person in charge of censoring Hunter Biden laptop story, which I don't know if you know, involved sex with a minor. Sexting with a niece with a minor. That softens the blow.
Niece's feet.
Yeah, something like that. So this is what he said about the story, Mr. Roth. Given the severe risks here and lessons of 2016, we're erring on the side of including a warning and preventing the content from being amplified. Okay, you did that with Hunter Biden, and by the way, it was the U.S. intelligence agencies who told you that it was some kind of a Russian hoax, right? Russian disinformation campaign and hoax. But I understand that you want to err on the side of safety. That's your job. Including a warning preventing the content from being amplified.
Which is a fun word for, being told about.
Right. Yes,
or
exactly.
Spoke about or letting people know.
But here's the thing. He's doing it for safety. Hey, so preventing it from being amplified, preventing it from being shared.
Yeah.
How about child porn? How about child porn? Oh, no, wait. If we bring it up, it's a threat. And then CNN talks about what a victim you are, that other people are mad, that you didn't put the same labels or do your job to protect children. I say this as if you are a dad and you are not furious, and look, we do a lot of stuff here, and I'm not on board with the rage porn. I am absolutely furious. I am absolutely filled with rage that this was going on. And I'm even more angry that we don't know what's going on at Google, at YouTube, at Facebook, and Instagram. That we don't know. We just know what we see. We know that we see content that isn't age restricted, which borders or is outright pornography. Are there people in charge, like we now know at Twitter and the FBI and the DHS, who are saying, that's okay, spend your time throttling the Hunter laptop story? It's the only instance, ironically, the only instance where some form of underage pornography might have actually been throttled. So, hey, you were accidentally less of a piece of shit, Roth.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Tonight we're going to have updates for you in a moment on the new FBI censorship scandal, as well as the CIA's involvement in the Kennedy assassination 59 years ago, which is now confirmed. It's all real. But first, because it's Friday and we're in a sentimental mood, we'd like to take a moment to say goodbye to one of our all-time favorite members of Congress, Mr. Adam Kinzinger of Kankakee, Illinois, ladies and gentlemen. Kinzinger was first elected to the House 12 years ago. And for the bulk of his time in office, he served utterly without distinction in virtual anonymity. A few of his constituents had heard of him, but none expressed interest in learning more. Then, in 2018, came the transformation. That was the year that Adam Kinzinger turned 40, and things began to change inside of him. The first signs were subtle but unmistakable. Choking up at a car insurance commercial, opening an Instagram account and posting pictures of himself, wearing spandex bike shorts to Starbucks without shame, and sometimes with a fanny pack. By 2021, Kinzinger had a full-blown case of male menopause, with all the familiar painful symptoms: mood swings, hot flashes, food cravings, uncontrollable weeping. A lesser man would have retreated from public life, chosen new pronouns, and transitioned in private. But Adam Kinzinger chose another path. He chose to be a role model. He wanted other middle-aged men to know there is life after hormonal imbalance. And so on July 27th, 2021, Adam Kinzinger bravely came out of the closet as a weepy man. You may remember the moment.
I never expected today to be quite as emotional for me as it has been. But you guys won. You guys held. Democracies are not defined by our bad days.
Imagine the courage that took. Yes, I am emotionally incontinent. Yes, I am utterly irrational. No, I will not be silent. In Washington, Kinzinger's performance was considered deeply inspirational. Here's a man who has no control of himself at all, so we better put him in charge of important things. Kinzinger quickly became regarded as an essential voice on foreign policy. When the world hangs in the balance, you want a guy who cries a lot. For his part, Kinzinger demonstrated a remarkable ability to make any situation on the planet, no matter how complex or weighty, all about him. Diplomacy by narcissism. Here he was yesterday on the House floor in his final, yes, emotion-laden address.
History has proven that American isolation from the world affairs is dangerous. Over the years, I've been privileged to lead the effort on supporting American leadership in a world drowning in faux strongmen. Advocating for the rights of Syrian men, women, and children to live without fear of Assad's death squads shouldn't be political. It's just simply the right thing to do. Advocating for stronger American assistance in Ukraine to counter Putin's illegal invasion shouldn't be political. That's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's just the right thing to do. See, the world actually isn't complicated. In fact, the world is simple. It's like an original made-for-TV movie on Lifetime. The kind where you burn through 2 bags of Skinny Pop just trying to keep your tears in check. So if Adam Kinzinger is doing something in a foreign country with guns, By definition, it's, quote, just the right thing to do. Like in Syria, Kinzinger's often expressed concern for Syria's men, women, and children is what matters. And because that concern matters so much, Kinzinger has pushed hard to continue the neocon proxy war in Syria. Result? Syria now has no economy left, and there's a massive cholera outbreak in progress. Men, women, and children are dying in huge numbers. Because it's just the right thing to do. Same in Ukraine. Kinzinger made that clear the other day when he responded personally to a Twitter account called CatTurd. Because when you're one of Washington's leading authorities on foreign policy, you spend a lot of time on Twitter reading accounts with names like CatTurd. So the other day, CatTurd made the mistake of posting a meme that seemed to mock the colors of the Ukrainian flag, colors that are sacred to Adam Kinzinger and every other empathetic soccer mom in her mid-40s. You can imagine how offensive that was. It was like telling an off-color joke about Meghan Markle. It could not stand. And so alone and battling debilitating hot flashes in his kitchen, fighting the urge to open yet another bag of Chips Ahoy, Adam Kinzinger fought back. Literal evil, he wrote in a late-night response to CatTurd. If I met you in person, it would not end well. For you, sicko. Whoa. Hear that, CatTurd? It will not end well for you. That's not a pillow fight Adam Kinzinger is talking about. That's a full-on slap fight with hair pulling. This is real. You better apologize. Our heart goes out to CatTurd tonight, who's probably cowering in a litter box somewhere, waiting for Adam Kinzinger to show up with sharpened nails. Mock the Ukrainian flag, get scratched. Those are the rules, CatTurd. It's a tough town. Meow. But speaking of how it will all end, how's it going to end for Adam Kinzinger? Well, we suspect it'll end like it began, in anonymity. In just weeks, Adam Kinzinger will be another CNN contributor. No one will ever see him again. But we will never forget him. Adam Kinzinger will live forever in our hearts as an example of what a man can be when he stops trying to be a man and unleashes the emotionally fragile divorced single mom within. Have another glass of Chardonnay and listen to me cry. Yes, Ms. Kinzinger, we will. So here it is, one last time. Au revoir, Adam Kinzinger. See you at SoulCycle. Sorry, I had to do that. This is Fox News Alert. The journalist Matt Taibbi has just published a new set of Twitter files, his assessment of internal documents from Twitter that have come to the surface under its new ownership, Elon Musk. The documents show the FBI had regular contact with Twitter and directed Twitter to censor accounts that were clearly posting satire. Of course, no matter what they're posting, it is illegal for the FBI to be directing censorship, flat out, a violation of our law. But they did it anyway. One senior FBI agent in San Francisco, Elvis Chan, who has his pronouns listed on the FBI website, of course, even sent a list of satire accounts to Twitter so they would be banned. Now, you might recall that DOJ is prosecuting a man called Douglas Mackey for the crime of posting memes that offended Hillary Clinton. For doing that, he faces up to 10 years in prison. Virtually no one has covered that story, but it's real. So these new Twitter files show that the FBI was deeply involved in what was happening on Twitter and going after people for making fun of Democrats. Right, in a free country. Charlie Hurt is with the Washington Times. He joins us to assess what we have just learned about this. Charlie, thanks so much for joining us. So on the one level, it's ridiculous, of course, that our biggest law enforcement agency is trying to force people to stop telling jokes. But on the other hand, this is a crime, unless I'm missing something.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. It's a clear violation of the First Amendment. I think that this latest dump reveals, literally there were so many interactions between the FBI and other branches of the federal government and Twitter where they got together to collude on what was allowed to be shared on the platform and what was not allowed to be reported on the platform, that they were actually opening up new back channels on platforms that I had never heard of before, many viewers had never heard of before, in order for them to keep in constant touch with one another. And the thing to remember is, if this were if this were happening during the Pentagon Papers, and we were realizing this degree of collusion between the FBI, the CIA, the federal government, and the New York Times, or if we woke up today and there was this level of collusion between Fox News and the federal government in the middle of an election to determine what we would or would not report, there would rightly be an outcry like we've never seen before. And yet it happens here, and an alarming number of the supposedly mainstream media, they're just like whatever.
Well, I wouldn't even say they're the media. They're not journalists. They're sock puppets for headquarters. Right. I mean, they're working on behalf of the state against the population of the country. I mean, the FBI was working for a political party, the one in charge. So how is this different from what the secret police do in authoritarian countries?
Absolutely not different at all. And, what's kind of amusing here is as soon as Elon Musk starts kicking journalists off of Twitter for doxing him, they start squealing like stuck pigs. Of course, these same people never said a word, not a peep out of them, when the government, in collusion with Twitter, began silencing doctors and scientists at the height of a pandemic. Not a word from these people. And so the idea that we're in a business where we're supposed to be the protectors of the First Amendment, you're on your own, man. These people are not protecting the First Amendment for anyone but themselves, and for the most powerful government on the planet.
Yeah, they're literally FBI informants posing as journalists, and they should be called that, I think. Charlie, great to see you tonight. Thank you for the clarity on that.
Great to see you.
So we've really tried hard, done our best to ignore the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saga. They've got a Netflix show that apparently has failed. But we had a chance to speak to Meghan Markle's sister, who's seen the show and says it is filled with lies, and of course she would know, and we're going to talk to her next. Plus an update on that Canadian teacher wearing the enormous prosthetic breasts and hauling all the kids in his class into his weird fetish life. We'll tell you what's happening there next. Well, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle are the subject of a new Netflix show, which made us a little insecure. We thought maybe people will watch that rather than this, but it turns out a lot of people aren't watching it. It's gotten terrible reviews. Turns out most people don't want to spend hours looking at two of the most privileged people in the world pretend to be victims. And there's a lot of that in the show. Here's Prince Harry, a man without a job, demanding an apology from his family.
Everything that's happened to us was always going to happen to us, because if you speak truth to power, that's how they respond. I've had to make peace with the fact that probably never going to get genuine accountability or a genuine apology. My wife and I were moving on. We're focused on what's coming next.
So you may be thinking, well, wait a second. There are a lot of people in the West, including in Great Britain, maybe especially, who are getting a lot poorer right now. Some people are going to freeze to death this winter because food prices are so high. So these are people who are literally members of the royal family complaining about their lives? It's kind of nauseating, no? Well, no, because they're really good people. And they prove it in the Netflix show. At one point, Meghan Markle says she was very close to her grandmother. She took care of her grandmother until she died. And that's why she's a good person. Watch this. So she supplied a picture of herself comforting her grandmother to Netflix. Now, how does the average person know if that's true or not? Well, of course, you would not know unless you were related to Meghan Markle. Samantha is. That's her sister. And, of course, in the Netflix show, Meghan Markle lashes out at her sister, too. Watch. I don't even know this person who claims to be my sister. Who to believe? Well, we thought it'd be interesting to speak to Meghan Markle's sister, Samantha Markle. She joins us tonight. Samantha, thank you so much for coming on tonight. So what do you make of her claim that she, has no idea who you are?
Hi, Tucker. Thanks for having me. Wow. Just, it's been just a series of lies, and I can't believe we're essentially looking at $100 million fake news PR machine. It's just, it's projection at its finest, and it's almost comical. God, just so not true. And the whole grandmother thing, that just did it for us. I think my grandmother would be rolling over in her grave if she saw that, and she didn't take care of her. She visited her. She never made apple butter with her because my grandmother was making apple butter like in the 1970s before Meg was even born. So it's been so far-fetched. It's like a tragic comedy, especially sadly for our family, for the Royals, and here we are.
Well, she does seem to have left quite a trail of destruction in her wake, but she also has, as you pointed out in your first sentence, $100 million PR machine on her side, telling her story in soft focus. What's it like to be up against that?
Well, that's been on Continuum. I mean, I found out from an attorney in London that there was an entrenched media agenda against me back in 2018. So on Continuum, there's been, this series of fake news stories, and I couldn't fight it. Let's face it. Companies like Sunshine Sachs that are powerhouses are really powerful, and so is the printed word. We didn't know how we were going to deal with it until, like they say, water seeks its own level. Eventually the truth comes out, and when it does, and when the dust settles, I thought, truth has to stand for something. Truth wins. So here we are.
I think it does. She's been able to keep the truth at bay, this is my read, by accusing anyone who asks questions or criticizes her of racism.
Right.
How do you, has she called you a racist yet? Her sister?
No, there were some weird PR stories in the beginning that alluded to that, but that's not realistic. We were an interracial family. And I think, if we all look back when they were the Fab Four, when they were, jet setting, when we looked at that incredible multicultural wedding, and then Prince Charles had paid for and chosen the choir and the bishop, I heard. So there wasn't any racism there until a point at which they began being criticized for making Hollywood deals while they were working royals. If you work at McDonald's, anywhere you work, there is prohibited conduct. There are rules. There are boundaries. And it seems to me that they, got into their position. They had a lot of fun. They loved the accolades and the perks. But when it came time to being accountable and being responsible and following rules, that seems to be when everything fell apart. And that's life. So I don't believe the racism, the race card, the victim card, somebody call the wambulance. It's just not real.
Someone call the wambulance. Oh yeah, I'm stealing that. Last question, would you have any advice for her in-laws? She's married into this big and storied family and seems to have disrupted it pretty profoundly. What would you counsel them?
In my honest opinion, I think apathy in a situation like this, when you're dealing with someone who appears to lack empathy, remorse, and shame, I think being empathetic can be a dangerous thing, and so can apathy. I think the hot honey adds that perfect sweetie. Sheesh. Needs to act, certainly swiftly and severely, and lay down the boundaries, because they seem to not like boundaries, and I think it sets a dangerous precedent to let this go on.
I think that's wise advice, really, for any family. Samantha Markle, I appreciate your coming on tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tucker.
So it's Friday, so we're updating stories we brought you over the past several months. You remember, of course, the Canadian shop teacher who decided to pull his entire classroom into his sexual fetishes, the guy who showed up wearing grotesquely oversized prosthetic breasts in the class. Now, the local school board in Ontario, the Halton District School Board, is defending the teacher. Of course, they're attacking the kids, banning the students from taking pictures of him. And one of the few Canadian journals who's covering this, and has from the beginning, is a man called David Menzies with Rebel News. To highlight the absurdity of all of this, Menzies just dropped off a petition to the school board dressed in the same fetish gear as the teacher.
The saying goes, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. So let's do the Linda Carter thing and see if the Menzoid can transition himself. I'd like to present a petition called Protect the Students. We've had over 16,000 signatures. It reads, the Halton District School Board and the Director of Education, Curtis Innes, should be fired for allowing a female identifying shop teacher to wear enormous fake breasts that are barely contained by see-through blouses while teaching.
The guy with the gun shows up because he's saying things they don't like. It really has become a police state in Canada. That's not an overstatement. David Menzies is the reporter we just mentioned with Rebel News in Canada. He joins us tonight. David, thanks so much for coming on. It didn't seem like they got the joke when they sent the cop over to you. Like they didn't think it was funny.
Oh, no, indeed, Tucker, and a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much for having me. This is the thing about the uber woke Halton District School Board, Tucker, is that they're all down with radical transgenderism, including a teacher who dresses up as a grotesque caricature of a woman as if he's a drag queen, but only for the kids in shop class to see that, not when it comes to their school board meeting. So when I came there, what happened after that is we received a letter, and Tucker, for asking insensitive questions, I am banned for life at the Halton District.
Hello?